Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to y'all. I see we've already got some folks over here on the YouTube chat. Good to see y'all this morning. Steve Gronsky's in the house early, he says. Troy Pritchard, how you doing, Troy? Kevin Els from South Africa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Larry Galt says he's got a doctor's appointment today, and oh well. Frankie CNC Woodworking Channel, how you doing, Frankie? Randy Hall's in the house this morning. There's my buddy Hitch from Florida checking in this morning. Ron Coffee, how you doing? You notice Ron's got the perfect last name for this coffee sessions too. Jim Burt, roll tide, buddy. I got my favorite cup here, or one of my favorite cups. Man, the coffee's hot too. I was sitting here thinking I was forgetting something before I go live, and I realized I hadn't got my second cup of coffee yet. So I had to run in there and get it, and got back with about 14 seconds to spare. So good morning, Javi. How you doing this morning? Leon White, good morning from Houston. How you doing, Leon? Good to see you on here. Robert Brooks in the house this morning. Clyde Labani, how you doing, Clyde? Yeah, you bet. You got just the right name for this outfit. Roll Tide, that's for sure. Man, had a great day yesterday. I hope y'all did. You know, Mondays always get kind of a bad rap, but I had an awesome Monday. I got a ton of stuff done. And at the end of the day, I was really tired, but it's what I call a good tired. I don't know if you know what I mean. I'm sure you do. But when you get a lot accomplished and you're tired, but it's a good kind of tired. And I had a good kind of tired yesterday. But got a good night's sleep, and up here ready to drink coffee and talk to my friends. So life is good. Doesn't get much better than this, I guess. But yeah, I got my laundry done yesterday, and I know you may laugh, but that's a big deal for me. So got my laundry done. I got my groceries bought, and I didn't go grocery shopping. I ordered them online and have them delivered. I mentioned that before on here. I don't know if y'all do that or not, but my little Publix down the road here, they have a fantastic service where you go online, you order what you want and how much of what you want, and you get a little text message saying, "Hi, I'm so and so. I'm your shopper," and they go around, do all your shopping for you, and then somebody delivers it. It's awesome. And I used that yesterday because I like to use that when I'm busy, and I just don't want to take time to leave the house and run down there. And I was out there most of the day yesterday around my fire pit getting my skeletons and all my wood scraps burned up. And that's why I didn't want to go, because I knew I didn't want to stop and go to the grocery store, because I can't when I got a fire going. And the other thing is, I knew by the end of the day I would be all stinky and smoky smelling, and then nobody would want me to go in public. So I just had it delivered, and it worked out good. So I got my groceries. And best thing of all is I got every one of my skeletons burned up in the fire pit. So I'm all caught up, got all that stuff out of the way. So life is pretty good. Earl Walker's in the house this morning. How you doing, Earl? Good to see you. Earl's pretty much a regular, I think. He's here just about every morning. Let's see. Who else we got? Oh, look, we woke up Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay CNC's in here this morning. Good to see you, Mark. Big D in the house. Dave Clemens, how you doing? Yeah, I'm really liking this new thing they put in here where when I put a comment up, you can see that's a YouTube comment. Let's see if I can find it. Here's a Facebook comment. Puts a little, not only the picture, but the little logo. So that's pretty cool that they do that now. StreamYard does a great job. I'm pretty much a fanboy for their streaming software. Well, it's not software, but their streaming platform, I guess. Steve says Walmart does that here in Oklahoma too. Yeah, Walmart and well, of course, my Publix. I think Kroger does it as well. A lot of them are. Once one of them starts doing it, the others have to kind of follow suit to stay in the game. Got Big George from Michigan. How you doing this morning, George? Good to see you here on the Facebook. Yeah, so just super, super happy that I got all my stuff burned up yesterday. And today it's going to be another great day, except it's going to be rainy. It's really overcast. It's usually the sun shining by now, but it's going to be dark and gloomy and probably wet a little later too, but that's okay because I got some other stuff I'm going to try to do. I've got to make a little trip in a minute to the UPS store, drop something off, and then I got to go by one of the local government offices and take care of something, but get that done. Another great thing I like about the Publix delivery thing, and they've just recently changed it. The last 2 times I've ordered like that, it's come this way. But they bring all their groceries now in the old paper sacks, the paper bags. I love paper. I don't know if you guys like plastic or paper, but the plastic stuff. You go to the store and it seems like they put every item each in a bag. You come home and you got 30 of these silly bags. And I would much rather have a paper bag myself, but it's weird because you don't. I didn't even realize they still had them. And then one day I was in Publix, and for some reason the stuff I was just running in there to get a few things, and I thought, well, it's going to be a whole lot easier if they just put it all in one bag. So I asked them. I said, "Do you have paper bags?" And they go, "Oh yeah, we still have them." But she had to go dig around and find them, and she put it in a bag, and of course made it a lot easier to carry. But then I got to thinking, I don't think I've ever seen, when I've been in that store, seen anybody walk out with a paper bag. So I don't know whether people don't know that they still have them, or what. But yeah, you go out there with a cart full of those silly plastic things, and then you stick them in the back of your car, and you go around a corner or something, everything slides out. It's a mess. I hate those. So let's see what we got going on over here in the chat. Frankie says, "I'm in the house, but you're playing in the shop on the flat screen. Neighbors think I'm crazy." Well, that might happen even if you weren't playing me on the flat screen. Just saying. I try to socialize most of the time. Can't make it one Saturday. Always listen afterwards. It's good to hear about everything. Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate you watching there, Earl. Mark says, our fantastic state legislature, and he's talking about Oregon, is trying to pass a law to limit the number of self-checkouts a store can install because they say self-checkout eliminates jobs. I don't know if it eliminates them or not, because I'm funny. I'm old school when it comes to checking out. When I go to a store, like say a Lowe's or Home Depot or anywhere really, but especially Lowe's and Home Depot. I can't say Walmart because I don't go to Walmart. I'm not a Walmart person, but when you go there and spend as much money that I spend at those places, I figure the least they can do is have a human to take my payment. That's just my thinking. I was at Lowe's the other day, or I'm sorry, not Lowe's. It was Home Depot, I believe, and this is probably a couple of months ago, and I was standing in line to check out, and there were two lines there, and there were a few people in each line. And there was a lady that come up and she says, well, would you like to self checkout? And I said, well, do I get an employee discount? And she just looked at me funny. She says, well, no. I said, well, then I'll just wait and check out here. And then she asked, there was another gentleman in the line next to me, and he was even even more funny about it than me, because when she asked him, he says, well, why don't you just open up a register? You're going to watch a self checkout. Why don't you just open up a register? And then, I don't know. I'm just that way. I'm not a fan of the self checkout things. You see all the time where people try to, take a lesser item and scan it and then put a more expensive item in the bag. They try to get sneaky about it. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of the self checkouts. So I got behind here on the. Ron says he prefers paper too. Can't help to think about the landfills. Yeah, Trader Joe's uses paper bags with handles. Yeah, I don't get the ones with handles, but I just like the old-fashioned paper bags. Paper bags are an option around here. Just have to ask. I have a question. How does a tool path with a 60-degree V-bit work and a flat area clearance tool? Yeah, well, this sorry, Randy, this ain't a CNC show here. You'll have to ask that Saturday, or go watch Mark Lindsay CNC's videos. He can help you with that. Plastic bags don't work to burn dog droppings on porches as good as paper bags. Yeah. You want to get your neighbor. It's a whole lot easier to light that paper bag. Jack's trying to tell me that somebody's out there. Oh my God, we have an emergency here. We've got the black kitty cat is out there walking around in the middle of the cul-de-sac. And as you can see, that causes quite a commotion around here. Such big babies. Let's see. Javi says, I prefer paper bags, but when I'm out on the property, plastic works for mini garbage bags. Yeah. Now, I do like to use the little plastic bags for, like, I have a wastebasket here, and I've mentioned this before, I think, but I have a wastebasket here in my office. And whenever I get mail, if it's anything that I wouldn't want somebody else to get a hold of, where they might have a chance at, getting a credit card in my name or whatever, I always bring that in here and throw it in this wastebasket. And then when the wastebasket gets full, I use those little plastic bags as a little mini trash bag. And then when I get that little bag full, I tie it up and I just stick it off to the side. And those make perfect fire starters for, like I did yesterday. I took one of those out and just set it in the middle of the fire pit, tore it open and kind of spread the paper out a little bit, light it, and then start throwing my stuff on top. And boom, you got a good fire going in just a matter of minutes there. So those are good for that. Dave Plymouth says, yeah, I recycle. However, our trash pickup only accepts Number one and number two, plastic. Plastic bags are not accepted. No paper at all, and only corrugated cardboard. Okay. Yeah, I don't really do any recycling with my trash thing. I don't even know if they offer it. Um, so I remember one time a few years back when recycling was the big thing, and I guess it still is. But they come up with this program, and they were going to give you an extra little recycle bin. You can separate your stuff, and I thought, okay, I'll do my part and do that. Well, you set it out there at the curb, and then if you happen to be home when the trash guy comes, they don't want to have to pick it up and do what they do. So the guy was just throwing it all into the back of the truck, just like the trash. And I'm thinking, okay, screw that. I'm not going to take my time to do it if they're not, if it's just going to all end up in the landfill anyway. So I I don't do that anymore. Eric Smith says he's late but listening in. Yes, and my plastic bags, my recycle won't take them. Yeah, I know they have a bin at I think it's at the outside part of the store, but it's under right before you walk in the door, they have like a thing where you can carry your old plastic bags and recycle them or something. But I don't know. They're just, I think, good Lord, they're banning plastic straws and stuff like that. But yet, you get all your groceries in those silly plastic bags. Charles Lawrence in the house this morning. Good morning, Charles. Marklin, we give our plastic grocery bags to the thrift stores. They need them. Yeah, they'll use them for stuff like to put their stuff in when they're selling. The Home Depot here in Central Florida has cashiers for every self-checkouts, and they're happy to check you out if you need it. Really helpful place. Yeah, but why is it a self-checkout if let's see, has cashiers? Yeah, if they have to have somebody stand there and watch you to make sure you don't, put something in the bag and carry it out without scanning it. That's what I don't get. Um, I just don't see the big deal about self checkouts. I think they're stupid, but that's me. Um, good idea, Mark. Didn't think of that. Yeah. Frankie says, when I'm buying Lover, can't find a barcode, I don't scan it. It was a great tip from the old man that works there. Okay. Yeah, if I wanted to be a checker, I would be one. Absolutely. Or like I said, if you want to do the self checkout, there should be a thing where it says, thank you for using self checkout. Here's, 5% discount or something. But no, they don't give me a discount. I'm like, well, if it's going to cost me the same to do it myself or have this person do it, I'm going to let that person do it. They're standing over there making money. Let them earn their money. But I know a fella who made a video on flat clearance tools. Yeah. Randy says wants to know who he is. The boys just want to go play with the cat. Yeah, it's really hilarious. I mean, look, I can see it right now. The cat's just sitting out there right smack dab in the middle of the cul-de-sac. And it just does that to mess with all the dogs, not just mine, but the 2 or 3 dogs that are in the house next door and all that. Yeah. Mark says you can't post a link. Look for V carving a flat pull. Just go over there and hit the dang playlist button and watch them all. That's what you need to do. It's never self-checkout for me because they have to come in and put in my military discount code. Plus, if you have to look up sometime, they have to do it for you. Yeah. I have never seen a self checkout thing that's truly self checkout, because there's always an employee standing there watching you, and I'm like, why don't they just open a register and do it? It's silly. If they got to sit there and help you push the buttons and all that, just ring you up. Come on. Randy says, I like plastic from Walmart. You can carry 1,000,000 of them at one time. We recycle at least 4 to 5 times more stuff than trash. Yeah. Got a question here. How long have I lived in Georgia? I have lived in Georgia since December of 1981. So I've been down here a long time. Way longer than I was in Indiana, in fact. So I used to do that here as well, and separate and recycle themselves. They would pick up the trash on Mondays and Fridays and recycle every other Tuesday. Okay. I mean, if you guys got recycling programs working for you, more power to you. But they don't have that around here. I love how younger folks are so up in arms about plastic bags and straws, but most of those same folks are 3D printing everything. Yeah, amen. That's why I'm so down on the 3D printer stuff. If you're going to 3D print something, at least make something useful. These little figurines and the Darth Vaders and Millennial Falcons, and you got grown men basically printing toys. Um, and I probably just pissed off a bunch of people, but I don't care. That's grow up. Print something useful, for crying out loud. Javi says, too true. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few people out there that I see that 3D print stuff that's useful, but like I said, most of these guys get these things and they're just making trinkets and stuff. Come on. That was actually a joke about not scanning the lumber. Only did that twice. The person didn't want to go fetch a barcode from another piece. Yeah. I used to pump your gas, wash your windshield, and check your oil. Yeah. 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 I worked for a brief bit there at the local Wake Up. I don't know I'm sure you remember that place, Hitch. I live in the country and don't have recycling. Yeah. Barry Curtis says, I did. It's a skull that holds my pen and pencils. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's something useful then. Like you couldn't have used just a tin can or something. This is actually a tin can. My son, I think, did this, back when he was probably 2 or something, and I keep my pen and my scissors and all other sort of junk in it, and I didn't have 3D print anything. Um, Jim Jones in the house. How you doing, Jim? You making any split face today? Jim has post some awesome pictures of split face. And if you don't know what split face is, ask Jim. Bill Larson made it. How you doing, Bill? Good to see you in here this morning. Let's see how many folks we got in. Well, we got a good crowd in here today. That's awesome. Let's see. Mark Lindsay says, I can see 3D printing brackets and such, but I don't like most 3D printed stuff because it looks like it was 3D. Yeah, well, I mean, even if you get somebody, let's see, Jim says, no split face today, banging out the regular block today. All right, cool. Make a bunch of them. Yeah, even if it's a good, smooth 3D print, it's still plastic. And we don't need more plastic junk. We don't. Yeah. What else can I say? I'm just so sick of seeing, you know, pictures being posted of junk, plastic junk. I'm like, yeah, that's what we need. More plastic junk to fill up landfills. You want to make something, make it out of something, you know, wood or metal or something. Let's see. Dave says, right now, the recycle is costing the trash company money, so they don't accept most things. That is because people put garbage in with the recycle and turn the whole lot into garbage. No money from them. Yeah, yeah. And that might be why that company I mentioned before several years ago, um, or it may have just been a lazy pickup guy too. Like I said, I was watching him. He'd pick up you separate the aluminum cans and all these different things, and he'd just throwing it all in the same spot. And I'm like, I don't know how long he'd been doing that, but once I saw him doing it, I'm like, oh, my recycling stuff is done. If he's just going to mix it back in after I've spent the time to separate it, forget that. So. Rocky Cam, pretty active day. Rocky wants to play ball. Yeah. I seriously doubt Rocky wants to play ball. Jack might want to. Rocky really, he could care less about that ball. Or that's actually that red thing you see in the hallway there. That's I think it's technically called a Kong or something. It's one of those things you can um, put treats and stuff in it. But Jack, he has three. We call them Chewies around here. That's what we call them to him. And he loves those things, particularly that one, because if you throw it real high up in the air because of the way it's shaped, it bounces really funny. And he loves chasing that thing. So let's see. Mark says the Chinese stopped buying a lot of paper and cardboard from us because they got tired of separating the usable stuff from the trash. Yeah. Jim Jones says it's a disposable world, Dave. I hate to say it, but they don't make it like they used to. Yeah, it's the sad truth, Jim. Sad truth. TVs and computers and all that stuff would fall into that category. Used to in your little town, you'd have a TV repair shop. People would, because back then people would spend a lot of money on TV. It'd be those big old console units and stuff with all the tubes and all that. And when it started messing up, they didn't just throw it out and go buy a new one. They took it to the repair shop and got it fixed. And nowadays it's like, just throw them away. Bill Larson says, I wonder how much bigger Mount Trashmore in Danville is going to get. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting to be a pretty good sized mountain, huh? Man, I tell you what, this guy right here can make some coffee, even if it is instant. That's some good stuff. Yeah, no serviceable parts inside a new TV. Yeah, Hobby says, I miss TV repair shops. Used to hang out there as a kid. That's actually, I mentioned before on here, my dad retired from LS Airs at 33 years. And I can remember he started out early on in his career with LS Airs as a TV repairman. And I can remember being a little kid, and he would drive, he would go to work. And then sometimes if he was out, our way by the house, he would bring the truck by maybe to have lunch or something like that. And he'd have that an old panel truck I think it was a Ford, but I'm not sure. I think it was like an old Ford panel truck, and it had the back doors that opened up like that, and he'd have like all these tubes and stuff. And I used to just think that was the coolest thing to have a truck like that with all that cool stuff in there, stuff to fix stuff. But that's what he did. He would drive that truck and go to people's houses, make house calls, and repair their TVs. And then he moved on, and started, when that started going away, he became a salesman in their TV and appliance department. Man, those were good times back then. Here I go. I'm getting off on one of them tangents, but I can remember as a young kid. There's my timer going off here. But I can remember as a young kid, my mom and I would take, because my dad worked in Greenwood, which I know most of you folks don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. Hitch and Jim Jones probably does. But he worked in Greenwood. And of course, we lived out there in Danville, which is a pretty good little haul. But I remember Mom and I would drive into town, into Danville, catch the bus, and take a bus from there to Indianapolis, and switch and get on another bus and go to Greenwood. And we would go down there and meet my dad. Have when he was working like a late thing, we'd have dinner. And I remember the coolest thing was when Pong came out, because, like I said, Dad was a salesman in the TV and appliance thing. So he would have when he knew I was coming down, he would have a game of Pong set up on one of those great big console Magnavox TVs or something. And I'd sit there, and some of you probably don't even know what Pong is, but that used to be the coolest thing, just boop, 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 and love playing that. Love playing that stuff. That was great. Yeah, I do remember these. And they used to have them in drugstores sometimes, too. You went in with a handful of tubes and tested them, and then they went and you got the tubes you needed to replace. Yeah. Thank you, Ron. He says, give Dave's a thumb up. Yeah, I always like getting a thumbs up. Lets me know you might like what I'm doing here anyway. Let's see. Larry Galt says, my job for 20 years, I have fixed several flat screens since I retired. They can still be fixed most times unless the panel is defective. Yeah, but I'm not doubting that. I'm sure they probably can, but I think the big issue is they're so cheap now that what you have to pay a repairman to fix it, for that you could probably get a brand new one or something, because they're just like, I was thinking the other day how many computers. I think I've had 3, and I'm just talking desktops. I've had 3 desktops in the just over 12 years that I lived here. I bought one, I think it was an E-machine right when I moved here, used it 3 or 4 years, then bought a Dell, and then I think lightning messed it up. So I bought another Dell, and then I got to thinking, I've had this one about 3 or 4 years. So it's going to be time to start looking for another one, because I don't know what Hitch, you're an accountant. What's the useful life on a computer? Isn't it like 3 to 5 years or something like that? Let's see here. I'm getting behind on the comments here. Javi says, spend all day at the local Sears playing Pong. Mom went shopping. Yeah, that Pong game was great. Sears. Got to go. See y'all tomorrow. Okay, Randy, have a good day. Go watch Mark's videos and learn how to do that flat clearance stuff. Sorry, tiny iPhone keyboard and weak prescription. Most folks won't pay $100 to fix a TV when you can buy a new one for 200. Yeah, that's the problem. Like I said, there's probably still a lot of things that can be fixed, but just cheaper to buy a new one. I still need to test tubes in my amps. Yeah, don't know where to go for that service. I wouldn't know where to go locally. Let's see. Jim says, I miss those old New Winchester Danville days, a buttload of memories. Man, ain't that the truth. Well, I don't know. I think you were on here the other day, Jim, when I said that every time I go back to Danville, I always go out there to the old school grounds, the New Winchester school grounds. And the school's not even there anymore. It's gone. But I love to go out there and just enjoy the peace and quiet. And, it's still cool because I don't know if you've been out there, Jim, but, the building's long been gone, but you can still see the footing. So as you stand there, you can see the footing sticking up from the ground. So it's cool because you can say, okay, right there was the big entrance to the gym, the big double, triple doors or whatever they had there. And over here, there was an entrance, and you can see the original sidewalk and all that is still there. It's really cool. I love going out there. Dave Clemens, 2 cups of coffee and starting a cup of tea with honey. Until they break. I guess he's talking about tube amps again. Let's see. Troy says, I went to a big box store and bought a $15 sander, and they wanted me to get a 2-year warranty for $10. I know, isn't that crazy? How they do that? You're buying something, and like I said, it's they're throwaway tools, and they want you to buy the extended warranty. That's those things are a joke. I never get those. That's why I never pay for extended warranty. Yeah. It's funny to think that I have a 20-year-old PC sitting on the shelf next to me. Yeah, I mean, some of them still work. Let's see, maybe I missed no, I guess I didn't. I was thinking I might have missed a comment from somebody. Todd HCNC says, plus they keep getting better. Yeah, that's all the more reason to keep buying a newer one, because especially in computers and TVs and stuff, because even if you've had one a few years and you do find somebody that might could fix it, if it went bad, you pay a little more and get a new one, and you get all these improvements because they're constantly changing. Danny Gillespie's in the house. What's up from upstate South Carolina? Let's see. Mom and Pop electrical store. He'll still checks tubes. You have to ask about the service. Yeah. Tommy G Workshop in the house. How you doing, Tommy? Haven't seen you in like forever. Glad to see you getting back in the swing of things. At Ford engine plant, they never repaired dealer returns. They would just ship a new engine. Yeah. I found out that 4 megs of RAM is not enough for Mach 3 very high def, I guess, high definition. Yeah, I'm going to be, let's see, we stop once in a while. Never will forget getting hit in the nose with a baseball playing Little League at the school diamond. Yeah, Jim, since you're here, I'll share one of my favorite memories is I can remember even before I was old enough to go to school out there, I must have been, well, I think I was 4 when my parents moved out that way. So I must have been 4, maybe 5. But I remember going to watch my cousins play at the what I call the Babe Ruth field. I think you know what I'm talking about. And, of course, the backstop backs up into that corner, and usually there was corn in those fields. So I can remember, all of us kids that were there at the game, anytime somebody would hit a foul ball over the backstop, which was easy because it wasn't a very tall backstop, everybody would go running into the cornfield, and you run, you look down an aisle this way, and you run to the next one, you look, trying to find that baseball. We always see who could find the baseball first. But man, just Great times there. Georgia Bubba in the house. Good morning. Ed, had to stop and think for a minute who I was talking to. All right, guys. Well, we got a good crowd here, but I've been on here going over 40 minutes now. Looks like my little magic button worked and put all my messages and stuff in there. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I got to get busy and go some places and get a few things done. Like I said, I had an awesome day yesterday. I felt so good to be productive. I'm going to try to do that again today. So I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday. And, just have a good day. That's all. I don't know why I leave this Rocky Cam on. That's not much going on there at all. All right. Everybody have a good day. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank y'all for joining me. If you're watching over there on the tubes, feel free to leave a thumbs up on the way out. I sure appreciate it. And I hope to see you again here tomorrow. So happy Tuesday, everybody. See ya.